When we talk about the American dream, education is supposed to be the foundation, a system that gives every child a fair shot at success. But today, that dream feels uncertain. From overcrowded classrooms and underpaid teachers to rising student debt and unequal access, the cracks in the system are becoming harder to ignore. And yet, at the same time, we see innovation everywhere: digital classrooms, AI powered learning tools, and schools that are breaking the mold with bold experiments. So, what's really happening? Is the American education system crumbling under outdated policies and growing challenges? Or is it transforming into something entirely new? In this video, we take a closer look at the past, present, and future of education in the US. We'll explore what's working, what's broken, and what might come next. Because the question isn't just, is the system failing? The real question is, can it still deliver on its promise? Or are we ready to reinvent it altogether? Let's find out. The American education system wasn't always about test scores, college rankings, or standardized curricula. In fact, its original purpose was deeply rooted in the ideals of democracy, civic responsibility, and national progress. When the US was still a young nation, leaders like Thomas Jefferson believed that education was essential for democracy to survive. They thought an informed and educated population was necessary to hold leaders accountable, understand their rights, and participate actively in civic life. This early vision wasn't just about learning facts. It was about creating responsible citizens. As the country grew during the 19th century, the focus shifted slightly. The Industrial Revolution demanded a new kind of worker, one who could read instructions, follow schedules, and operate machinery. Public schools began teaching discipline, punctuality, and basic literacy and math skills, not just for knowledge's sake, but to prepare children for the modern workforce. Schools started to mirror factories in their structure: bells, rows of desks, uniforms, and strict routines. By the early 20th century, the progressive era brought reforms aimed at making schools more inclusive and child-centered. Leaders like John Dewey emphasized the importance of critical thinking, problem solving, and hands-on learning. Education wasn't just preparation for life, it was life itself, he argued. Schools were supposed to reflect democratic values, freedom, debate, and individual growth. Over time, education also became a tool for nation building. Immigrant children were taught English, American history, and civic values to assimilate into the culture. School became a place to create a shared identity, a melting pot of ideas, values, and traditions. But despite these noble ideals, there were always gaps. Access to quality education was often limited by race, gender, or social class. Still, the foundational purpose remained: to build a society of informed, capable, and free-thinking individuals. Today, as we debate whether the system is failing or evolving, it's important to remember that education in America was never just about academics. It was about shaping the future of individuals, communities, and the nation itself. While the American education system was built on ideals of democracy and equal opportunity, many argue that it's now struggling under the weight of its own complexity and falling short of the needs of today's students. One of the most pressing issues is inequality in funding. Public schools in the US are primarily funded through local property taxes, meaning schools in wealthier neighborhoods get more money than those in poorer communities. This creates a system where a child's access to resources, from advanced courses and technology to extracurriculars and safe facilities, is determined not by their potential but by their zip code. Then there's the overemphasis on standardized testing. Instead of nurturing curiosity and creativity, schools are often forced to teach to the test. Subjects like art, music, and even science or social studies are sidelined in favor of math and reading drills. Students become numbers and schools become test prep centers, all while critical thinking, problem solving, and emotional growth take a back seat. Another major issue is the mental health crisis among students. Rising anxiety, depression, and stress levels are often overlooked in school environments that are still built around outdated ideas of discipline and performance. Counseling services are stretched thin, and many schools simply aren't equipped to support students' emotional well-being in a fast-changing, high-pressure world. The system also fails in its approach to learning styles. Every child learns differently, some through visuals, others through movement, discussion, or hands on experience. Yet many classrooms still rely on a one size fits all model that rewards memorization over mastery. As a result, countless students feel left behind or mislabeled as slow simply because they don't learn the way the system expects them to. Teacher burnout is another growing concern. Educators are overworked, underpaid, and often forced to work second jobs just to make ends meet. They're expected to be instructors, counselors, tech specialists, and disciplinarians, all at once. When teachers are exhausted or unsupported, it affects the quality of education students receive. Technology, while promising, has also exposed a digital divide. Some students have access to the latest tools and online learning platforms, while others struggle with outdated equipment or no internet access at home, creating a tech based achievement gap that widens over time. And finally, there's the issue of curriculum relevance. In an age of climate change, artificial intelligence, global politics, and rapid societal shifts, much of what students are taught hasn't evolved fast enough to prepare them for the real world. Financial literacy, media literacy, coding, or even basic life skills are often missing from the classroom, leaving students unprepared for adulthood despite years of schooling. As frustrations with the American education system continue to grow, a major debate has emerged across classrooms, political arenas, and kitchen tables nationwide. Should we reform the existing system or completely reinvent it? Those in favor of reform argue that the foundation of American education isn't broken, just outdated. They believe that by investing more in teachers, updating curricula, reducing standardized testing, and closing funding gaps, the current system can be revitalized to meet modern needs. Reformers emphasize the importance of gradual, thoughtful change, working within the framework of public schools to improve outcomes without disrupting millions of families. But others argue that reform is no longer enough. They believe the system is fundamentally flawed, rooted in 19th century ideals that don't match the realities of a 21st century world. For them, it's not just about fixing what's broken, it's about building something entirely new. The future of American education could be personalized, tech driven, and focus on one size fits all classrooms. Students might learn at their own pace using AI powered platforms. Traditional tests could be replaced with hands on project based learning. Teachers would act as mentors, not lecturers, guiding students through creative and critical thinking tasks. Mental health support, career readiness, and global collaboration would play bigger roles. Lifelong learning would become the norm, helping people reskill anytime, anywhere. It's not just about reforming the system, but completely reimagining how we learn. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay curious. See you in the next one.